So we just started to get our heads around there's going to be a World Club Championship starting. We've just started to get our heads around there's going to be kind of an international mini World Cup between the World Cup and Lions Years. And now another grenade has been thrown in there. Today we've seen the story that Mike Tindall and friends are thinking about launching or trying to launch an R360 global league, a complete breakaway league that goes around the world and attracts the best players with massive money and is a massive rival to domestic competition. So I just want to talk about it, tell you my initial thoughts, but I'm trying to keep my mind open. So please let me know in the comments what you think about it, what might happen, will it happen? Well, I think we have to take it seriously because, yes, Mike Tindall is a serious customer. He thinks about rugby deeply, he cares about it deeply, but there's other guys behind this. Stuart Hooper's in there as well, and we've got some legal guys as well behind the creation of the IPL and Live Golf, and those two are serious in their own respects, successful breakaway leagues. The IPL, obviously, a massive runaway success. Live Golf has put a massive grenade in golf itself, and we'll talk about those as we go through. And we've actually got quite a few details about it. It would happen in 2 windows, April to June and then August to September, to try and make players available for internationals, they say. But of course, if players play in this league, they may not be eligible for their nations. For example, in England, they have to be playing in the Premiership to be available, and that won't change if this comes about, that's for sure. Otherwise, everyone's going to leave that league, and it's certainly going to attract the best players, and if the money's enough, they're going to leave. Let's just say it how it is. You can say in professional sport that, playing for their country is everything, but if the money is right, it's not going to be, and you can't blame them. Put yourselves in their positions. If they get a few million quid chucked at them, they can make 3-4 times as much for half as much work. You're going to do it for your family, especially in a sport where it's so physical. Your career could end in a second. It's going to be short anywhere. It's just going to happen. They want to go to destination cities, London, Paris, Los Angeles, etc. They want to attract 300 of the top men's and women's players, 10 franchises. Okay, so could it work? Well, they're saying there's loads of financial backing. They're getting loads of investment, more than what's in the domestic game at the moment. And one thing I'll say is the domestic game, say the Premiership in England, has no divine right to hold all the keys to rugby. Yes, they have the history, they've put a lot of time in, and that is something to think about. Are you throwing away a lot of history? Because if this happens, it will absolutely harm those domestic leagues, particularly those ones that have been struggling more, like the Premiership, say. But you could say, well, that's their fault. They've had 30 years to get this professional game right, to make it make money and not have teams go to the wall, which is what they're doing. So you could say it's kind of survival of the fittest. If these guys come along with the money, with the backing, then maybe that's what you get in a meritocracy. But also, I think you've got to think about the whole game as well. Would this damage the game? And my fear is inevitably it will. It will stop some players playing for their country. They'll probably work around that eventually. So maybe internationally it would be okay. I mean, World Cups are very successful commercially. Lions tours, 6 nations. So I'm pretty sure that will happen. It's what would happen to these domestic leagues shorn of a lot of their best players. Maybe they'll survive and they'll bring through new players, and maybe it'll be great and everyone can coexist. But players will have to choose. Will they play for their domestic league? Will they play for this new R360 league? I don't think they can do both. I mean, it's not like football, which is very physical, but you can play twice a week. It's not like golf that you can play most of the days a week. So it's incredibly physical. You can play once a week and you need extra rest in between that. So there's only a finite amount of time you can play rugby. There's only a finite amount of players as well. I mean, a team needs 23 on the day in the right positions. They need a big squad to cover injuries. They need a big quality squad. And it's tough to get that many players. It's a big-ish game globally, but it's not massive. It's not soccer. It's not golf where you just need one person anyway and loads of people play it. It's not cricket in India. And let's remember that IPL works because India is a massive market for cricket. They will lap it up. And it wasn't like the game didn't need changing anyway. Now, what I mean by that, historically, the game of cricket evolved as a 5 and a 4 day game. That was the core game. That was cricket. And in the modern world, that is just too long, no matter what you say about it. So when one-day cricket came along, T20, the 100, etc., it worked because you needed a new format. For rugby, do you need a new format? Is this going to be a new format? That's one question. Is it just going to be normal 15s? It sounds like it's going to be a lot shorter. It's going to be a lot different. It may be smaller sided. Now, that's obviously been tried with 7s. Now, 7s is interesting because I love 7s, don't get me wrong, as a winger. Now, I love playing it. I set up my own team, but it was very exclusionary because for the bigger, slower players, it's not great. The pitch is too big. If you were to have 7-a-side and design it from scratch, you'd make it smaller. But they took that historical 7s game and tried to make it work, and it has kind of worked as an event, but it's not rugby, and we're seeing 7s contracts slashed all over the place at the moment, so it hasn't really been sustainable. Has it helped rugby? Has 7s helped rugby? Well, a bit, but it hasn't really developed that many 15s players because they're different games, because you've got this massive pitch and 7 players. It's not the same game, so that hasn't worked. Maybe you do need to try a new format. I would argue, no, I think at the moment 15s is working fantastically well. Take the commercial side out of it, the on-field product is the best it's ever been. I think in the Premiership it's like 8 tries a game and similar everywhere else. It lasts under 2 hours, there's tackles, there's tries, it's a great atmosphere. Everyone loves it, even if you don't know a lot about rugby. So I don't think the product is the problem. But like I said, these domestic leagues have had a lot of time to get it right. We've had Super Rugby change to Super Rugby Pacific. We've had the South Africans join the URC. The URC is quite a new thing. We've seen the Premiership lose 3 teams because they haven't been managed very well. So you could say, okay, it's time to try something else. And if they can get the money together, like I said, it's a free world. They can try it. These guys have been there and they've done it. If it does happen, my worry is it will go the way of Live Golf and it just turns the sport into a massive fight between them and us. Live Golf, it's not that great, to be honest. They're not the best players in the world. It's not the best format in the world. People don't really care because with franchises, and it's completely new, you're trying to make people care about something they've got no history over. And fine, if you stick with it for ages and that is the product, eventually people will care, but it takes a long time. I mean, look what's happened in Wales. They've left it a long time and people still don't massively care about the regions. They want to care about those individual clubs. Llanelli, Neath, all those sorts of things. That's what they want to care about. So creating history, creating excitement, tribalism, is really hard to do, and I've got a fear it would just rip the game apart. But on the big pro side, I think the players absolutely should earn more if there's a capacity to get the investment in. Like I said, it's a crazy hard game. Spend all your life trying to be good at it, and it's very physical. There's only a short window to earn money, and if you can, you should go for it. So is this a good idea, or would it rip the game apart? R360, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Do like, do subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you next time.